Hey everybody, my name is Paul Eston Jr., aka Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. We're streaming live simultaneously late on a Wednesday. Boy Green After Dark. Wink. Right here on our Heavy on Jets Facebook page. Make sure you like the video, comment, get involved on the show if you'd like. Also, feel free to share the live stream to all of your friends and followers live on YouTube, youtube.com/boygreen25. Again, like the video, hit subscribe. That's your free way to contribute to every single show we do, whether it's a live stream or a pre-recorded interview. And of course, on our Twitter account, @boygreen25. I'm going to be honest, guys, look at this baby. I don't get to wear this often. And if you don't know what this is a Pro Bowl New York Jets Darrelle Revis jersey, baby. Oh, yes. I don't get to wear this often. This thing is freaking beautiful. It's fantastic. And by the way, this is the exact jersey I'll be wearing in Canton, Ohio when Darrelle Revis, of course, is a first ballot Pro Football Hall of Famer in August. I've never been to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but I fully plan on going, by the way. And this is the exact jersey I'll wear as I watch Darrelle Revis get immortalized with the greatest players of all time. But that's a different conversation for a different day. Why we're wearing this Pro Bowl jersey and why I have a beautiful excuse to put it on is the NFL announced the Pro Bowl rosters today here late on a Wednesday. We had to hop on to talk about it because it was historic in so many ways. Also, guys, wherever you guys are watching, feel free to get involved in the comment section. This is a show by the people for the people, and we'll get all of your comments here on the show. First off, let's give the Pro Bowl results, and then we'll get into some of your guys' comments. And again, like I said, it was so historic that we had to talk about it. We had to break it down. The Jets did not have one, not two, not three, four Pro Bowl starters in the 2022 games. CJ Mosley, linebacker, Quinnen Williams, defensive lineman, Sauce Gardner, corner, and Justin Hardy on special teams. Again, four, count them, four friggin' Pro Bowlers, baby. Spectacular. And here's a couple of statistical nuggets because I am a history freak. I love nuggets. I love the history of the game. And here are some nuggets. This is the first time the Jets have had a single, just one Pro Bowler since 2019. It's been 3 years. This is the first time they're sending multiple Pro Bowlers since 2018. They sent three: Jamal Adams, Andre Roberts, and Jason Myers, the kicker. Sauce is the first Jets rookie to make a Pro Bowl since 1988, Eric McMillan. Eric McMillan. Talk about that history from 1988. All of that history. First Pro Bowler in 3 years. First time sending multiple Pro Bowlers in 4 years. First time having a Jets rookie make a Pro Bowl in 34 years. I wasn't even on this earth for Eric McMillan. I was born in 1993. I mean, good Lord. So this kind of Pro Bowl history, of course, deserves our love. And in addition to all those four Pro Bowlers I just mentioned in C.J. Mosley, Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner, and Justin Hardy, the Jets additionally had three alternates selected for the Pro Bowl. Braxton Berrios, going to be honest, that's more so on reputation as a special teamer, as a return man, but it's fine. Wide receiver Garrett Wilson, spectacular. I mean, Garrett Wilson is a gosh darn freak. So he made it as an All-Pro last year and as a Pro Bowler, but or as an All-Pro. He did not make it as a Pro Bowler. Maria, I'm seeing that on there. He made it as an All-Pro, not a Pro Bowler. Last year, he was a common snub. Again, just seeing that one coming in, Maria. He was an All-Pro, not a Pro Bowler. But even beyond that, so Garrett Wilson, and guys, again, Garrett Wilson is going to be a very special player for a long time. He is the all-time rookie yardage mark for the New York Jets. He is the all-time rookie reception mark for the New York Jets. And Brian O'Reilly, I'll give a shout out to that New York Jets fan on Twitter. He is a mere 10 to 15 yards away from being in the top 10 in overall NFL receiving yards this season. And think about the volatility at quarterback. Now, whatever your take is, I know some Jet fans are Zach Wilson truthers, some Jet fans are Mike White truthers. I don't know if anyone's a Joe Flacco truther, but if you guys are there, I will represent that as well. No matter what quarterback you believe in, and absolutely, Maria, no problem whatsoever. He was an All-Pro. But no, I appreciate it. I could be wrong too, so that's okay. But overall, okay, when you consider all of this incredible history I mean, it's just spectacular and it's special. And Garrett Wilson in particular, again, pick whoever your quarterback is. If you just had one stable guy, what's Garrett Wilson? 1,500 yards receiving, 88 catches or something? I mean, this kid's going to be great. And then the other Pro Bowl alternate was DJ Reed. And a lot of people are saying, of course, that DJ Reed was a snub guy. And according to a lot of the analytics, he was. But I'll put it simply this. And I know DJ Reed was upset about it. He tweeted about it. I'll just say this, DJ, eventually I hope you get your rose petals. Sauce, for a lot of reasons, got it over you because of the name Sauce. That sounds shallow, but the Sauce name helps. The New York market, the 4th overall pick. There was a lot of sex appeal, and he's got all the stats and analytics to back it up too. And I think another thing that I spoke about this on the Buffalo Jet Fan YouTube channel tonight. The other thing I would also say is I think the voters all said to themselves, can we send 2 corners from the same team on a 7-7 team? Again, if the Jets were 14-2 or 13-3 or whatever the record is, I think it would have been a little bit easier to send 2 corners from the same team. I think that also was a factor. So there is a fair case to be made that DJ Reed was a snub, but to get 4 Pro Bowlers in, historic. To have 3 alternates just on the outside looking in, and again, here is the rule on that for those wondering. Quote, Pro Bowl alternates can be selected to play in the game if Pro Bowl starters or backups either decline the invitation, cannot play, or are on a club that advances to the Super Bowl, that via the official press release. So all those guys can potentially be in as well. Remember, there is no more Pro Bowl game anymore. So in terms of the participation or going, it's unlikely that we're going to get the 7th alternates anymore because there's no Pro Bowl game. It's just kind of a fun, very light, like mini game-ish thing is how they're spinning it for the future. But regardless, this is an awesome, honor for all of these guys. Also, here's one more statistical nugget. I just had to share this one. The Jets sending 4 Pro Bowlers. This is the first time the Jets have sent at least 4 players to the Pro Bowl in the same season since 2015. And those 5 were Darrelle Revis, Nick Mangold, Brandon Marshall, Chris Ivory, and Muhammad Wilkerson. And talk about a lot of streaks from that season. Muhammad Wilkerson, up until Quentin Williams this year, was the last double-digit sack pass rusher. Chris Ivory is the last 1,000-yard runner by a Jet. Brandon Marshall is the last 1,000-yard receiver by a Jet. I think that changes tomorrow night with Garrett Wilson, by the way, but I digress. Nick Mangold and Revis, of course, as well. The Jets sent 5 Pro Bowlers that season. This year, they're sending 4. Absolutely freaking special from that standpoint. All right, let's get a bunch of comments in because, again, this is historic. This is awesome. I know we're all talking playoffs and everything else. We can answer all those questions in Jaguars preview. I just felt it was so important to slap on the Pro Bowl jersey, to hop on live and to talk about this history. This speaks to Joe Douglas. This speaks to the future of the Jets organization because here's a couple more. Elijah Tucker, of course, would have been a Pro Bowler if healthy. Breece Hall, of course, would have been a Pro Bowler if healthy. And those are 2 more. So we would have been even digging deeper into the record books to talk about potentially 6 Pro Bowlers and then the 3 alternates sprinkled in too. Again, it's a new era of Jets football that is built on a core. This is why you should believe I don't want to say the season is disappointing. I think that's probably too aggressive because the over-under number for wins heading into the year was 5.5. But for the Jets to be 7-7 right now, and they could have, would have, should have been, had a much better record with all these games that they've kind of let slip through their fingers. Think about this for the future, everybody. Again, it's the present right now, but I just want you to think about this as we're talking Pro Bowl. The Jets are going to be here for a long time. They've got a young, juicy core that's only going to get better, and they're only going to add more pieces to the puzzle in the offseason. That's what you need to feel motivated about for the future, and that's why I would as well. Boogie Down Dave on our YouTube channel. What's up, baby? Welcome to the show. Andrew, Ayo, good morning. I know it's a morning for a lot of people that may be watching this around the planet, so appreciate that, Andrew. Appreciate you chiming in late. Rico, let's go Jets. Amen, baby. I'm looking forward to the primetime game tomorrow night. I know there's some people who are in other countries that listen and watch our shows that look like, it's like 2 a.m. for us. And there are some people that go to work and all kinds of other things on a Friday, as do I, by the way. I work in radio, so I go early in the morning as well. But to me, I love primetime. To be the only show on in town, and for Zach Wilson in particular, have this opportunity to shut a lot of people up. I'm excited for the kid. I'm excited for the Jets on this national stage. If they look good on this national stage, they're going to get a lot more than one primetime game next year. I'll tell you that. That's for damn sure. Anthony Joseph, yo, what's up, Boy Green? How are you? Happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. We'll still be on tomorrow night for the post-game show, but we have this bonus video on right now. So I will be saying some more happy holidays to you before we get to actual Christmas, but happy holidays to those who celebrate, and also Kwanzaa and Hanukkah as well. Andrew, so sad my boy DJ Reed missed a cut. I'm going to be honest, I expected him to. Again, I just didn't think he had the same name recognition. We saw it in the fan vote, but again, there's a multi-layered process for voting for the Pro Bowl. There's the fans, there's the coaches, and fellow players. So it's a multi-layered system to cook up who the Pro Bowlers actually are. And I just had a feeling that DJ Reed was not going to make it, and that's fine. And I hope DJ Reed just uses it as more motivation moving forward for not getting the respect he deserves. Maria, 4 Pro Bowlers. Nice. Again, it's awesome. It is so friggin' special. Chrono Kenny, yo boy Green, what a do, baby. Love it. We're here late on a Wednesday. Absolutely. Anthony Joseph, drop all those 4s, baby. 4s up. 4s up for the Pro Bowl. Maybe more with the alternates. Rico, rest in peace, Franco Harris. Yes, of course. The tragic passing of 72-year-old Franco Harris late last night. I mentioned it kind of off the top of the show. I'm a huge football historian. The Immaculate Reception, of course, there was going to be the anniversary technically on Friday, but the game of Steelers-Raiders is the primetime game on Christmas Eve. So I have all the respect in the world for the legends of the game. We had some great stories on our radio show. My old radio partner, Bud Poliquin, covered the NFL for a long time out there in San Diego all the way back then, and he covered multiple Franco Harris games, and he was in the locker room with Franco Harris. So it was cool to hear some of those stories. Incredibly sad, an absolutely tragic situation. I know he was getting old, but still, like he was just doing radio interviews this week talking about it. So from all I've heard from people today doing interviews, a remarkable man in a great era of Steelers football, of course. The 4 Super Bowls, Terry Bradshaw, the Steel Curtain, Lynn Swan, Dick, Lambert, Jack Lambert, excuse me, and Mean Joe Green, and so many wonderful players throughout that history. So, our thoughts and love were sent out to the Franco Harris family. TJ Decker, what's up, baby? Maria, no players on offense, though. Yeah, the only one was the alternates, and the only alternate was Garrett Wilson. Braxton was special teams, and then the other alternate was DJ Reed. So, yes, Breece Hall, though, would have made it. AVT would have made it, and I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, Garrett Wilson even being an alternate actually is wildly impressive. I mean, that's really cool for Garrett to be able to do that with all the volatility at quarterback and everything he's been able to do. Major shout out to Garrett. I did not expect that one. So that one's really cool. Good, a lot of respect, obviously, built around the league. Anthony Joseph, talking about history, boy Green, both Chicago and Jacksonville have 0 Pro Bowlers. I have not been able to dive in, I will tell you, to the overall Pro Bowl rosters. I have not been able to do that. So in terms of looking around the league, I've only seen like the snubs for DJ Reed, looking at who the other corners were in the AFC that made it. But yeah, that's interesting. And again, which also makes sense. It just blew out the Bears, and we'll see what happens with the Jaguars. Maria, did not realize we had 3 alternates as well. Sweet. 100%. Yeah. There's an extra nugget. That's why we come on here. We give you a little fun facts, little nuggets so you go to bed with. So there you are. Chrono Kenny, what exactly is All-Pro? I know what the Pro Bowl is and that fans vote players in, but what the F is All-Pro and how is that determined? So All-Pro is determined by the Pro Football Writers Association. So that's what it is. And really, to be honest with you, in terms of the conversations, Pro Bowl gets a lot of the fanfare, obviously, as we're talking about it right now. And I have there's not an All-Pro jersey that I'm aware of. But All-Pro is supposed to mean a little bit more because Pro Bowl has been sometimes interpreted as a popularity contest, and technically a part of the voting process is fans. And, not to denigrate fans and their football knowledge, but any monkey, like a trained monkey or a trained rhinoceros could hop on and vote for Pro Bowl votes. And they can't really, track who is doing it or who's doing it like 100 times. Like anyone, a dog could, vote for the Pro Bowl. So that sometimes, at least from certain perceptions, like denigrates the process in a way for some people. But to me, again, the voting by the fans is not the same equivalent. Like, for instance, someone brought a great example a couple years ago, Mekhi Becton. I think it had to have been his rookie year. He was a Pro Bowl leader among the fans, but he didn't get in the Pro Bowl because the coaches and players didn't vote for him in that same light. So again, there are layers to the voting process, but all pro again is supposed to, according to football people, mean a little bit more than the Pro Bowl because you don't have the votes by the fans to kind of muddy the waters. So it's supposed to be the respect of the respect. To me, I believe there will be 2 all pros on the Jets. There's 4 Pro Bowlers, but I believe there will be 2 all pro Jets. It'll be Quinnen Williams and Sauce. Those are the guys. Quinnen Williams for sure, and I feel pretty good about Sauce as being all pros. Elijah Vera Tucker would have been an all pro if he was healthy. So that's a slight difference, Chrono. So hopefully I was able to explain that to you tomorrow. Kelly Montez in here. Anyone going tomorrow? I am not. I wish I lived a little closer. I live in upstate New York, so I'm about whatever it is, 5-6 hours out. So I would love to, and I was hoping because Amazon Prime actually did this weird kind of random contest, like if you talked about your like experience with Amazon or something, you got like a free ticket or something, and they paid for part of your experience. I saw it too late, so I went, I missed it. So anyone who's going, congrats. I know it's supposed to be rainy and somewhat miserable, but again, primetime game, baby. There's nothing like it. Seeing the Jets under the lights and the stealth blacks. I love the stealth blacks personally. That's my vibe. That's my vibe. Rico, whatever quarterback is playing, I'm supporting. Let's go, Zach. 100% Rico. And I wish more people, and thanks for commenting, I wish more people would have that mentality. It will, of course, be Zach Wilson. Mike White was not cleared for contact, so it'll be Zach Wilson QB1, Joe Flacco QB2. And I think we should, represent the shield, so to speak. And in this case, the Jets. Like, some of the fans, and some of you may push back on this, but, some of the fans, quite frankly, that have said, like they're rooting against the Jets because they hope the Jets lose so the Jets can get rid of Zach Wilson. Like, to me, those aren't fans, man. Like, what are we doing? What are we talking about? Like, let's root for wins, man. Let's root for guys. Like, Zach Wilson was the number 2 overall pick. Don't we want him all to work out and be this great guy? Maybe he won't be. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball in my hand. But, like, let's support whoever the quarterback is, whoever the player is. For instance, a couple of years ago in the draft, I thought Josh Allen, yes, that Josh Allen with the Bills out of Wyoming, sucked. I thought he couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. I didn't think he could hit the broadside of a barn if he had 10 attempts to do so. And guess what? Despite all those inaccuracies and things wrong with his game, again, I was wrong. I was a boob. I didn't know. But I thought that if the Jets would have drafted Josh Allen, I didn't think they were. But if they did, I would have been like, okay, I don't think this, or this, but you know what? Let's give the kid a chance. Let's root for him. So you root for whoever's on the team. I feel like that's how it should be. So well thought out comments here, Rico. Maria, without a game, it makes all pro seem redundant. I can kind of see what people are saying there, especially since, again, the game has been eradicated. But again, without the fan vote, I guess, again, there would also be that special life. But to your sense, right, it is going to be an adjustment period now that the game has been eradicated. Anthony Joseph, who's top of the 49ers? Brock Purdy, I think, is top of the 49ers. I think the NFC is super questionable. Again, you can like the Eagles, the 49ers, the Cowboys, Vikings. I don't know. They're weird, but super talented. So I think Brock Purdy, eventually, I think Cinderella wakes up in the crystal, slipper or whatever that is. I'm terrible at Disney. Fits on the foot. I think eventually it does not fit on the cankle anymore, and I think Brock Purdy turns back to normal. Hawk. Can't wait for Mario. Can't wait for tomorrow night to watch Zach throw fireballs like he's Mario. You got like the Mario mustache, so maybe your Hawk is actually Super Mario in disguise. I'm looking forward to it. I think he's going to, you guys, if you'd like, we have a full Jaguars preview with John Shipley. He covers the Jaguars for Jaguar Report. That's on my YouTube channel. I know we're streaming live right now on Heavy on Jets, my YouTube channel, my Twitter account. If you guys want a full breakdown, it's like 20 minutes, a nice little snack-sized bit for the game tomorrow. It's on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/BoyGreen25. We go behind enemy lines every week to get an expert from the opponent to learn more about him. And he had a very candid take, including predicting a Jets win from old John Shipley. So really good stuff there. He believes with all the injuries, let me get some water here. All the injuries, though, they believe Zach Wilson will cook. He does believe that. Couple injuries of note. Foley Fatukasi is out, so no Jets-Jaguars revenge game from that standpoint. The number 1 overall pick, Trayvon Walker, is out. He is not in the game. Cam Robinson, their starting left tackle, is out, likely out for the season. That's a big injury. Trying to think of anyone else I'm missing there. But those are the 3 big ones. Foley's out, Trayvon Walker's out, and Cam Robinson is out for the Jaguars. But if you want a revenge game angle, Quincy Williams got dumped on the side of the street by the Jaguars. Now he gets an opportunity. So, yeah, I'd love to see fireballs from Zach Wilson. He believes that he's going to do it. The Highlander just landed on Planet Boy Green. Happy to be here, bud. Happy to have you, Highlander Prime. I love it, baby. Yes, it's great to be on here late. Maria, who are the 3 alternates again? Yes, in case you're just joining us, because I know some people don't watch the entire show. So the Jets' 4 Pro Bowlers. These are not alternates. They're straight up Pro Bowlers. C.J. Mosley, Sauce Gardner. You have Quinnen Williams, and you have Justin Hardy. Those are your 4 Pro Bowlers. Your 3 alternates, and again, they will play if someone does not play in the game. But again, there is no game to be played, so it's kind of weird how the Pro Bowl officially sent out that statement. But the 3 alternates are Garrett Wilson, Braxton Berrios, and DJ Reed. Again, Braxton Berrios, Garrett Wilson, DJ Reed. Braxton Berrios is a return man. Again, I think that's kind of a reputation. He hasn't been great this year. Garrett Wilson, that one's surprising, but awesome that he's getting that kind of respect. And DJ Reed, a lot of people believe, is a snub. So there you are there. Ragna Jet. Good to see you, Ragna. I'm still hanging on to the playoffs this season because our boy Green declared it months ago. That's true. Back in May, I said the Jets would be 9-8. So right now, that's still possible with 3 games to go. So maybe I'll be right. I'd prefer to be wrong. They're whatever that is, 10-7. But I digress. And I said they could be in the playoffs. And a couple of the things I said back then were true. Because again, people remember, I don't give predictions. I give spoiler alerts, baby. I told you everything I say comes true. I mean, come on, you can fact check all the videos, obviously. But I thought that, first off, that the Jets would have a lot of progression in a lot of areas. Now, I didn't project the Zach Wilson regression of the defense being top 5, but I guess we can all have things wrong. But I think the big thing was teams that we think are going to be great aren't going to be. And I pointed at the AFC West as one of my big examples, and that one proved true. Broncos collapsing, Raiders collapsing, Chargers being somewhere in the middle, and then, of course, the Chiefs being the Chiefs. But I did not think when they say, oh, man, how can the Jets be in the playoffs? How are they going to fit? Because 30 teams are going to make it. It's not going to be the Jets. Like, I thought that was ridiculous, and that ended up proving true. So they have an opportunity, and the playoff path, for those who don't know, is if the Jets win out, they win their 3 games, they have a 98% chance of making the playoffs, according to the New York Times analytics. Now, they need a little bit of help. Technically, they don't control their own destiny, but why I believe ultimately they do. So they got to win out. They got to win the 3 games. That's taking care of your own business before requiring anything else. Now, putting that aside, the Jets need the Patriots to lose once. If they lose once with 3 games to go and the Jets win out, they're in the playoffs. They end the 11-year playoff drought. They're in. Who did the Patriots play? Bengals. Loss. Dolphins. Loss. Bills. Loss. We just need 1 L. Quite frankly, all 3 of them could be L's. But I digress. I still am laughing, belly laughing, that the Patriots lost that game to the Raiders. That was one of the most enjoyable things I've ever seen in my life. And that made me feel a lot better about the Jets' loss on Sunday. I just have to say. For sure. Let's go. Chrono Kenny. Feliz Navidad. Amen. Absolutely to all you guys out there. Hadouken. There you go from Hawk. Yes. Chrono Kenny. Just got my Jet Santa hat today. Yes, I wore it earlier today. I wore it during the John Shipley Jaguars interview. If you want to see me in my full Christmas regalia, at the of course Clark Griswold Chicago Blackhawks jersey from the movie Christmas Vacation, which is the best Christmas movie of all time, no debate. Also, Mariah Carey's "All I Want for Christmas Is You" is the #1 Christmas song of all time. Again, no debate. But if you guys want to see that, there was on my video earlier with the Jaguars preview. Let's go to Patrick Lee Jennings here on our Facebook page. Zach can be an elite quarterback, but he needs time to develop. Mike White is the best option right now, but Zach does have the talent to be successful in this league. I think both of those things can be true, Patrick. First off, Mike White, his ribs are not good. And I will tell you that this is not sourced information. Whenever I source information, I tell you that I heard from this guy, this guy, this guy. This is not sourced. This is my gut speaking here. I don't think Mike White plays another snap this season. He has fractured ribs on both sides of his body. Obviously, he's already been ruled out for this game on Thursday Night Football. And I think the Jets are motivated in their own light to see what Zach Wilson has. And Mike White, I don't think, is going to be cleared by any doctor. Now, I could be wrong. And again, this is just my gut. This is no sourced info. I don't think Mike White plays again this year and maybe ever for the Jets, I guess, because he's a free agent. So I guess that's possible. But I do think Zach Wilson has a ton of potential. I'm still all in on Zach Wilson. There's been a lot of it's not blind love for Zach Wilson. Okay. He's obviously made a lot of mistakes. But he's a guy that I believe in the talent, and the big time plays against the Lions had me on the edge of my seat of, wow, look at what this kid is capable of. And maybe that keeps me forever. Trin the Great, by the way, love your channel. Appreciate it, Trin. Yeah, I've loved this channel's development over the last couple years. It's been fantastic. Hawk, CJ Mosley might be an all-pro. That one would surprise me, but we'll see. I don't know who he's competing against in the AFC, candidly, of the other candidates. So I'll have to double check that. Let me see. I heard a super chat came in, but you may have to resend that somebody. I did not see any super chats, which is a healthy reminder, by the way, that if you'd like, the free way to contribute to the show, if you're watching right now, all of you can do this that are watching either live or after the fact, is liking the video and hitting subscribe. It makes a tremendous difference. We just passed the 3,000 subscriber mark. So, golf clap to each and every one of you at home. It means the world to me that we've tripled our subscribers since March. We were just hitting 1,000. Now we're at 3,000. So it's a huge shout out to all of you, and I'm glad that you guys like the channel. But if you'd like to dig into your pockets for this holiday season, if you're watching on YouTube, there's a YouTube super chat feature available where you comment in. It's where you can throw a little change in my jar. I'll give you a major shout out on the show, and you help support the channel so we can do more videos and more cool interviews. Like I said, we had George Fan on last week. We're going to have Tyler Conklin back on in the off season. So we've got a couple of big things set up, and I hope you guys can be a part of it. So I need to double check the other linebackers on that one, Hawk, to get back to you on how confident I feel from that perspective. So Trin, I did not see a $5 super chat, so you guys will have to send that back in. I just went through the comments. I did not see it. So you may have to send that one back in if that was you or somebody else. Let's see. Kelly will be there with the bells on. Can't wait. I love the spirit. I'm hoping to see a lot of very festive nature on the tube. And Maria, just win, baby. That's what we're all looking for. Eddie Mills, my brother will be tailgating at 1 sharp. Again, that's he's showing up there that late. I'm just kidding, Eddie. That's phenomenal. Let's keep going. TJ Decker, Josh Allen didn't look like he belonged in the NFL the first 2 years. Yeah, look at some of those numbers. Again, we all hope we can have our own version of Josh Allen. He's probably more the outlier than the rule, but I like that comp. Monty, 100%, man. Let's see how the next 3 games go. We need to win tomorrow. And really, I know it's a dumb doy thing to say, but you win this one and every other game after it means more. So if you lose this one, all the air comes out of the balloon because you lost to the Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars are red hot. The Jets, by the way, are a favorite. They're 1.5 point favorite in this game, according to the latest Vegas line I just checked before hopping on here. However, the Jaguars have less wins than the Jets. I know the Jaguars are hot right now, and the Jets are stone cold right now. But the Jets are at home. The Jaguars are traveling on a short week on the road. I don't know, man. I like the Jets in this game. I like the Jets a lot. A lot of their key injuries, again, Cam Robinson, Trayvon Walker, even Foley Fatukasi all being out. Those are major pluses. The Jets are getting Corey Davis back. He wasn't on the injury report, so booyah, he's back. Quinnen Williams, zero is pointing up for him to come back. I think that is absolutely massive with Quinnen Williams set to return to this game. Zonovan is expected to be back for this game. So I'm feeling really, really good about the Jets' chances in this game. It's going to be a dogfight. I don't think they're blowing them out or anything, but this is one I feel really good about. But let's see what happens on a game-to-game basis. Momo Adamo, go back to the skills competition like the late 70s. That's the one, I'm going to be honest, Momo, that I loved. Like the Pro Bowl game, fine. The Sean Taylor blowing up the punter way back when was cool. But to be honest with you, like the Peyton Manning, and I'm trying to think of other guys, just random superstars, whoever your guy is, doing like the moving target, and they got to throw the ball and the moving targets and like the arm competition where they just chuck it as far as they can. And like, oh man, he won the cannon challenge. Like all that stuff is cool. Like, I don't know if it has to be the dodgeball stuff they're doing and drone drop and the new technology, but I like the old school skill competition against some of the best. To me, that's way more important than the game anyway, to be blunt, to be honest. Like, the game is whatever. It's turned into this two-hand touch thing. Again, it doesn't exist anymore. They've removed it, but like the game was this two-hand touch thing, which was weird, and no one wanted to get injured, no one wanted to play, but there was money on the line and stuff. But like, give me the mini games. I think those are even cooler. So Eddie Mills, we still have a good chance to win 3 straight. The Dolphin game will decide who's in. I don't know if my heart could take that, Eddie, to be honest with you. I don't know if my heart can take that. Again, we would love to be there for that, Eddie, because as much as I mentioned this Lions game hurting, and we do a post-game show 2 hours after every game right here live on my YouTube channel, but also on our Heavy on Jets Facebook page, as we will tomorrow night for the game, I have to be honest that it hurts so good. It hurts so good for meaningful games. Like at this point of the last couple of years, I think last year they were 3-10 or something heading into this time frame. I think is what Rich Cimini tweeted out or mentioned in his Sunday column. And to be mattering that, like, it's not just draft implications, to be in this game and winning or losing. And we're coming on the post game show and saying X's and O's, this play caused the difference. Over the last couple of years, quite frankly, me doing this post game show is like, oh, wow, well, they lost, so this means this pick, that pick. Like, I love that we've been actually talking football on a football show. Go figure, right? So that to me has been really cool. So yeah, this game matters, man. It's do or die out there. That's what Monty says in here. Tomorrow's must win or our season is done. So hopefully that playoff atmosphere is exactly what's coming in, because they absolutely need that for sure. Jose Garcia, when are we getting an offensive lineman in the Pro Bowl? It would have been AVT. Mekhi Becton, like I said, in his rookie year was either an alternate or right on the outside, whatever it was. Actually, I don't even think he was an alternate that year, but he was leading in the in the Pro Bowl. He was leading in the fan Pro Bowl votes, but did not make it. So AVT is going to be the guy, but hopefully they get even more. Hopefully Mekhi Becton bounces back and stuff like that. So that'll be good. Let's see. Go back to hockey. Paul, you were that in Jets training camp, Zach shattered the all-time NFL record for hardest ball ever recorded being thrown under any circumstance, 69 miles per hour. Nice. Brett Favre threw 63. I remember hearing someone talk about that. That actually may have been false. It may have been like a random. I can't remember if it was a true analytical thing or a fan just randomly made that up and then it went viral. So I can't confirm or deny, but I remember hearing something about it and then it was one of those two things. But either way, I mean, here's the thing. Let's talk about that real quick. So Zach Wilson had 51% completion percentage in the Lions game. That's just simply not good enough. Obviously, that's mediocre. That's just not good enough. Obviously. However, when you really dive in, like some quarterbacks throw the ball hard, catch the ball. You're a receiver. You're a tight end. You're a running back. You've got hands. God gave you hands. Okay. Catch the freaking football. There's just no excuse why you can't catch the freaking football. Now, could he have had a little bit more touch on this throw or that throw? Like, he threw it too hard. Like, come on. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Okay? Like, there was a couple of those complaints, and they're like, what? So he got the ball there. So first off, Zach Wilson never gets the ball there accurately. Well, okay, on this particular case of getting the ball there accurately, he threw it too hard. Like sometimes you're just nitpicking. I'm not saying you are, Hawk. I'm just saying the greater you. I heard these complaints during the Jets-Lions game on Twitter. Like, what the hell, man? Catch the ball if it hits you in the hands. Now, on a couple of them, okay, you have to have some level of accuracy in terms of the ball placement. Mike White was very good about that in the first Bears game, which I highlighted him for. But get the flip out of here. Like, catch a gosh darn football if it touches you in the hands. I mean, for Pete's sake. Abe Lab Studios, ZW will shine. I think so too. I'm really excited. And then for it to happen in this moment, prime time against Trevor Lawrence. I know Trevor Lawrence called the quote unquote comparisons to Zach Wilson annoying. And Zach Wilson in his own light was kind of like, hey, I'm playing against the Jaguars defense, not Trevor Lawrence. But like we all know, for our fanfare, like these guys will be connected forever from a draft status perspective. So ultimately here, that'll be that. Hey, Zariah, come here. Here, we're live right now, but come on over here, Zariah. Yeah, you can come on over here. Sure. Let's introduce you to the people. All right, come here, Zariah. All right, everybody. Here we go. This hasn't happened before, but hey, Zizi, look at the camera. We're live. Look, woo! Say hello to all the people. Hi, everybody. This is Zariah. She turns 11 months on Christmas. She's 1 year old on January 25th. So there you go, everybody. She's got a pool noodle. I don't know how you got your hands on that. I don't should get her hands on anything. And shout out to my beautiful fiance for taking care of this child all day, all the time. So I love you, Zariah. She's trying to eat a pool noodle. So she's fantastic. So she's always in another room or something when we're live on the show, always looking over here saying, what's Dad talking about? What's Dad talking about? It's Jet stuff. So, Zariah, I love you. Got to finish the rest of this show. Okay, sweetheart? There you go, Tatiana, my beautiful fiance. She won't come on camera, but she's there. And thank you, Zariah, my little girl, for jumping. I just start crawling. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, boy. You got to get a leash on that thing, a bell perhaps. But there he is, Zariah there off camera. So phenomenal. Let's go to Vincenzo here. I'm at the point I won't mind if we lose out. This team has no future. Come on, Vincenzo, my man. Come on with this take. This is a trash take, man. There's no way that you can actually believe this. You got to be a bot or something. Come on, man. To be in a season where your playoffs are there to be had, there's a realistic shot. You don't need a million things to happen. You need to win out, which, the Jets just lost 3 in a row. Can they win 3 in a row? I don't know. You guys have to ask yourselves that question. But you're in the playoff mix, and you're like, I'll sacrifice the season. I don't care because of Zach Wilson. Like, dude, come on. That's just, it's hard. It's hard to hear stuff like that. I just don't like it. And I see someone questioning. I see Momo saying New York Times is a bullshit news source. Just saying, wherever you guys get your news is your own thing. They have a playoff simulator. That was the 98%. But even if you don't want to use it, I mean, just do your common sense logistics. If you win 3 in a row and then one team loses one game, that's probably 98%. I didn't go to college for math, but it's not about their news. It's about their playoff predictor that Jets X Factor uses. But again, different strokes, different folks on that. Zach or Hawk here on Zach. Zach has a gosh darn flamethrower for an arm. We need to put him roll out, flip them pocket, take some deep shots, and we don't give a flying hoot if they stack the box. I like your vernacular here, Mr. Hawk. Absolutely. And yes, he does have a friggin' rocket launcher attached to that thing. And again, showing a little chutzpah would be nice in having those opportunities. And again, those are going to get a lot of play. We always talk about, man, if Patrick Mahomes made that throw, it'd go wild. But Zach Wilson makes that throw and he doesn't get the buzz. If he makes some of these throws on Thursday Night Football, there's a chance that things go crazy. Chrono Kenny, Christmas Vacation is by far and away the best. And it is. I don't even know what would be close. Every Christmas Eve, I watch that movie, and we got a full slate of football Saturday. So I'm going to have to be very choice, I suppose, with my Christmas movies with the family. But Christmas Vacation is number 1. And if I had to go with a number 2, it's Scrooged with Bill Murray. I love that friggin' movie. And Christmas Vacation, again, as Chrono Kenny does, the shooter's full. Like, there's so many great lines from that you can kind of just weave in, like, bend over, I'll show you. Like, there's a million lines, and like, I don't know, Marco. Like, you could just, again, there's just so many great quotable lines, like kiss my ass, kiss his ass, happy Hanukkah. Like, man, I could just go all day with all of those for sure. Momo Adamo, hey, Paul, what do you do for a living? People ask this every once in a while, so I don't mind delving in. My day job, I'm a sports talk radio host here in Syracuse, New York. I live in Oswego, but in Syracuse, New York, I'm a sports talk radio host. Monday through Friday, I do a show 10 to 12 where we talk local, Syracuse basketball, Syracuse football, the national teams, so Giants, Jets, Bills, and national topics that come up. Like earlier today, we're talking about Franco Harris's passing, Louis Orr, who's a Syracuse legend. We got some of that in today, the Syracuse basketball game from the previous night. So we get sports talk radio. So I do that every day. In addition, I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. And what that fancy schmancy title means is I write articles covering the Jets every day, talking news, rumors, nuggets. Sometimes it's straight up like an injury report, and other times it's me, doing a deep dive on an interview I did with a player, or, rumors like, ESPN says the Jets could chase this quarterback, and I say, hey, here's what they said. Here's my opinion on that. So I do that for a living as well, where I write articles, do video shows like this on the Heavy on Jets page. I host a few podcasts. So I do some of that work as well. And in addition to all that, for all you guys, I also I am the voice of a semi-professional football team here locally. They're called the Syracuse Strong. They just won a national championship. I flew out to Vegas to call that game. So I'm the voice of the Syracuse Strong. I also work with the Syracuse Mets, their baseball team, which is the radio affiliate of my radio station. So I work with them as well. So long story short, very long story. Tax time is hell because I'm doing a million jobs, but those are just an array of some of the jobs that I do on a day-to-day basis, plus doing all this, and it's a lot of fun. So that's a long answer, probably longer than you wanted, Momo, but for sure. Brian Farrell here. The Jets are climbing the mountain to the tippy top, but we're only halfway there. We're feeling super duper in the future, and I hope all of you guys feel that way. For sure. Trent, I keep saying you're saying there's a missed super chat. I didn't see one, but whatever your question is, Trent, I will treat it as a super chat if you send your comment in. I'm sure you're telling the truth, but I just looked through all the comments, did not see a super chat. It would have lit up for me, but feel free to send that in and I will give you a shout out there. Let's keep going here. Paul Christensen, are we going with the fifth wide receiver tomorrow? Yeah, let me pull up I'll pull it up on my phone and get the final injury report in so I can be accurate about this stuff coming in, because I know we had Jeff Smith was pretty questionable for this game. Again, Corey Davis is back. Denzel Mims is out with the concussion. Let me see here. Let me make sure I give you the accurate injury report. Here it is, 7 hours ago from the Jets on their official apps. Okay, let's go through these. All right, so here are all the guys who are out, already ruled out for this game. So the top four players: Brandon Echols out with a quad. He could be out for the season. Denzel Mims, concussion. He's out. Jeff Smith is out, to your point. Mike White is out for this game. Corey Davis is back in. So there is a chance for a fifth receiver. Could be a promotion from the practice squad. I've got to double check our practice squad numbers. So there is a chance. Or they could kind of go with a different position, like bring up a tight end or something. So they did that a lot with Kenny Yeboah. So he's a guy potentially to watch out for. So there's a chance that we're going with the fifth receiver. Could be off the practice squad. I don't have the practice squad roster in front of me, but that's certainly possible. It'd be kind of dangerous to only go with the four with all those guys injured, but it's kind of desperate times, desperate measures from that standpoint. Ace, the Jets fan. I'm going to be honest, I feel similar. Jets defense will go off. Jags haven't seen a defense like this at all this year. Again, I respect the hell out of Trevor Lawrence. The last 6 games, he's got 14 touchdowns, 1 pick, like 1,600 yards passing. Like, the numbers are crazy. But also, they haven't played the Jets defense. And maybe that's going to sound arrogant. Maybe Trevor Lawrence lights it up and shuts us all up. But he hasn't seen corners like Sauce and DJ. And Quinnen back changes the dynamic of the entire defense. And I think he could go buck wild on the interior. So, let's see what happens. I kind of like our defense. Anthony Joseph, Jet fan from Queens. I know a lot of people kind of have that as well. So feel free from that standpoint. Let's see. Brian Farrell, Zach Wilson, 22-year-old kid from Utah thrust into the New York media. Going to take a while. Just saying. Brian, the only point I will contest is this. On the surface, again, I didn't know a lot about Utah before Zach Wilson. I will be candid. It's not like I had a lot of stuff from that perspective. But I'll tell you this. Utah's got a robust media market. Now, it isn't New York, obviously, but BYU football is super big. They've got a lot of media stuff down there at BYU. I would suggest looking into that a little bit and just saying that 100% that there is, again, it's not New York, and I'm not trying to pretend that it is, but from the people in Utah, when I talked to Utah people, they said, hey, just so you know, I know Utah has this reputation as some hillbilly country in the middle of nowhere. That's not true. And I'm not insulting the Utah people. Just like, that's kind of how they described it. It's like a rural whatever. Like, hey, I know Utah's in New York, but we were very intense with our media. So I would just throw a shout out there on that to give the proper love the entire time. A couple of super chats coming in. I see Momo Adamo with the 199. Thank you so much. Again, special color and major shout out. Thank you so much for supporting the show. What you guys do is amazing to help support me and allow me to do even more of this. So you guys are the freaking best. So thank you so much. I see another YouTube super chat coming in. Chrono Kenny, Merry Christmas to you, fifth. Merry, I butchered that. Let me get it. Let me get water before I need to probably do this for you, Chrono. Merry Christmas to you, you filthy animal. I know I butchered that again. That's embarrassing. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Chrono. That's awesome. I love it. I love all you guys. You guys are freaking beautiful. You guys are freaking awesome. Thank you for the support, and I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday. We're on here for a little bit longer, but I just want to say, in case I don't say it, which I will, that I freaking love you guys. Let's see, Victor. I see a win if the beeping line will block. Yes, hopefully they do. Let's pull that up. I do want to throw one tweet in here. I should have done this earlier. Let me see if I can find this quick. Zach Wilson with the old gift for the offensive line, the Christmas gift. There it is. Big shout out to Home of the Jets 1 on Twitter who got this out. This is going viral right now with 809,000 people talking about it right now. Is a Zach Wilson gift hooking up his offensive line. So shout out to all of them here for this. So we will throw that up here on the video board. You guys will just kind of see the video replaying a few times here. But Zach Wilson hooking up the offensive line. This is from Nate Herbig's Twitter account. You see this video showing all of these custom scooters that Zach Wilson got. There's 9 in total. Little video going, I appreciate you, man. And look at all those 9 scooters. By the way, I did a little research on this. Josh Allen, by the way, did something very similar, except he customized them with jersey numbers and everything else on there. Shout out to Zach Wilson. It's really cool to see this after part of the reason he was benched was the accountability stuff. So pretty cool. Those are like $3,000 a piece. I mean, and that's before doing anything custom accessories. I don't know the key details. I reached out to a few players to see if they could give me the skinny. They may not want to, dive into all the financial details. So we'll keep an eye on that. But Nate Herbig shared that to his Instagram, and they're like $3,000 a piece. So we're talking $27,000 math, mom, at a minimum. So, whoa, Zach Wilson, way to shell out for your offensive line. That's always a good way to do it, to tell your line, hey. And I know a lot of people made a lot of jokes like, hey, maybe they could return the favor by friggin' blocking. And the offensive line has been putrid. Let's be honest. I did some stats. Let me see if I still have all the numbers in front of me from my article that I did earlier. That's on Heavy on Jets if you guys want to read it. On the Christmas gift from Zach Wilson, some cool fun facts on that. And then also the offensive line, how they can return the favor. Here are the sacks allowed over the last 5 games. 4 sacks. 1, 1, 4, 4. I mean, that's brutal. That's absolutely brutal. 14 sacks allowed by this Jets offensive line since the bye. And here's the other concerning thing is the rushing yards they've been able to create. 50 yards against the Lions. Not good enough. 76 yards against the Bills. 120 yards against the Vikings. Good. 158 yards against Bears. Okay. 59 yards against the Patriots. In 3 of the last 5 games, they've rushed for 77 yards or less in 3 games, and then all the sack total. So they've been leaky in pass protection. They've been inconsistent from a running game perspective. So there's been a lack of balance there on the offensive side of the ball. So they need to block both in run and in pass sets for these guys to have a chance. So the thing you love about Zach Wilson and what you didn't love about Joe Flacco is they can escape the pocket and they can make something happen. So that's the thing that you want to see in terms of the money action and the pass blocker stepping up. Now, obviously, the Jets' offensive line has been freaking destroyed with injuries. Mekhi Becton, George Fant, Max Mitchell on IR twice, Dwayne Brown. I mean, all Elijah Vera Tucker, like they've been destroyed. And they have done a remarkable job of quote unquote surviving. And I'm not saying that like a joke, like straight up, Joe Douglas, John Benton, the offensive line coach, like everybody has done a phenomenal job of doing what they do. However, like the Jets need to keep figuring it out, and they've done a real good job of figuring it out. If they have any hope, it's blocking because Zach Wilson can only escape out of the pocket running for dear life so many times. What a blunt question, but one that deserves a really good answer, the Highlander Prime. How long do you think we should give Zach to develop with the Jets, Boy Green? Again, as Robert Saleh has hoped and desired for, if this was 1990, we'd be having a much different conversation now than we're having in 2022. There is this instant coffee world, and quite frankly, as much as Saleh may hate it and say he needs time, he needs time, he needs time, well, Saleh, not on the hot seat. Again, that's not what I'm saying, but like coaches by nature, like they're on the hot seat. General managers by nature, Joe Douglas is not, but they're on the hot seat. They need to like keep solving things, and winning windows are only so short. They're only so short. The Jets 2008 year where they go 8-3 and then blow it. 2009 AFC Championship game. 2010 AFC Championship game. 2011 they blow it at the end. Like the winning window was there, and the Jets weren't able to capitalize on it for whatever reason. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen. And you could go back a few more years on the Eric Mangini run, 2006, 2007, 2008, as it progressed there. 2006, they make the playoffs in his first year, lose to the Patriots. Like, again, but the winning window is this for the most part. So you need to take advantage. So when you battle those ideologies of one side of saying, man, if we give the proper TLC to Zach Wilson, he could be the long-term quarterback. But like, what about the rest of the roster? That surprised the Jets. The win now nature of this roster is like, whoa, we did not see this coming this quickly. And all of a sudden, that Zach Wilson, to use this term very loosely, was a victim of the win now roster. Like if this team was, I don't know, 4-10 or something, like the patience for Zach Wilson, keep figuring it out, kid, because we suck. Oh, wow, we're great. Zach Wilson, you got to figure it out right now, man. We got a winning team right here, which will, again, aggressively change the quarterback thought process for the offseason because the Jets will be tempted to go after, Jimmy Garoppolo, Derek Carr, or whoever because they're like, man, we got to win right now. Tom Brady, I don't know who the guy is. So to answer your question, I think it's one more year, one more full off season, and he's going to compete. He's not going to get the job handed to him on a silver platter. So some quarterback competition coming in. Is Mike White brought back? I don't know. There's much to be determined. Is it Tom Brady coming in? Is it Aaron Rodgers coming in? Is it Jimmy Garoppolo coming in? Derek Carr? Whoever your guy is. I don't know. Someone's added to the room. How does that all get figured out? I don't know. So I would just say from that standpoint, I would give him another full year and see how he does, how he competes. And again, there is one other potential option where you get 2 years. If you brought in a Tom Brady, let's just play the crazy example. Who knows if he ever comes here? He hates the Jets. But if Tom Brady came here on a 1-year deal, he came in and rode this Jets team to wherever they could. Playoffs, what a Super Bowl, that'd be awesome. And Zach Wilson just learns from him, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Also, it'd be weird to be rooting for Tom Brady in a green uniform, but you get the example. Okay. And Zach Wilson, so rests the entire year, and he's the primary backup if Tom Brady would get hurt, and he just learns from him. And then the following year, Tom Brady retires and Zach Wilson gets a show. That's another example if he gets a full development year and then plays. But outside of like a rare example like that, or Aaron Rodgers or something, who I don't know how great of a teacher he would be, that would be the one exception to my rule. But in terms of another year and see what happens, and does he compete with the guy and lose, and then he gets his opportunity to step in next year? I don't know. But I would give him another year, personally. I think cutting bait after 2 years on a number 2 overall pick is bonkers. And the only way you do that is a rare circumstance, a Lamar Jackson trade or something. You're like, well, we normally wouldn't, but here's this example. So that would be the only way that I would change it, in my perspective. But great question, Highlander. I love that question. And Kyle Haddock, you nail it right here, Kyle. Wouldn't it be nice to win and watch AFC chaos play out all weekend? Nice Christmas present to season ticket holders and a long week to roll into a business trip to kick Seattle and punch Dino like it was preseason 2016. Hilarious, Kyle. Well done. And 100%, that's both the benefit and the curse of Thursday Night Football. The good thing is you win your game, lose your game, whatever, and then you have the full weekend, especially in this case where it's the holiday. If you win, you enjoy like this mega win opportunity, and it's like 10 victory Mondays, and you have 10 victory Mondays for the fans. The team gets a mini bye heading into the next game. Like, it's all groovy. Now, if you lose, and especially in this way where it's win or go home almost in that scenario, it's going to drag to the Seattle game. So it's just so key. But wouldn't it be nice to kick your feet up and watch Patriots and go Bengals and watch them lose and watch yourself just rise up naturally, organically through the AFC playoff picture? Absolutely, it would be, Kyle, and hopefully we get that. Hopefully we get that. The Highlander, I gave Sam 3 seasons, the length of his rookie contract. Rookie contracts are 4 years, but still, to your point, the 3 years, and then let the Panthers make that 5th-year option decision, which comes after 3 seasons, and then they get the 4th and then the 5th. Because again, Sam Darnold is in his 2nd year Patrick Lee Jennings. We'll go through a bunch of these here. Really go all in for an old quarterback when we have a young gunslinger that just needs time to develop. The only quarterbacks that would be worth it would be Carr, or if by chance we could get Jackson. Realistically, Zach is probably our future. So if you hate him, you better buckle up because Zach is here for the long haul. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if he's not on at a minimum on the roster next year. But I do 100% believe that he's going to be at the very least competing for the job next year. Let's go to Benny. I think the Jets have beat me down over the years. I feel like they will lose tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong, but they've been so bad so long. Hard to be positive. 100%. This is a new era of Jets football, but I understand for a lot of fans, it's hard to bring that baggage with you and just to keep resetting because Saleh isn't the first coach that sold you a bill of goods. Todd Bowles is not the first coach. Adam Gase and go Kotite and Rex Ryan and all these guys. Sometimes they have, sometimes they haven't. But no, I get the battle scars from a lot of people. Anthony Joseph, cute baby. Happy holiday, Boy Green Jr. Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm so blessed. Highlander Prime. Oh, man, she's beautiful, Boy Green. Great work between you and your lovely wife, fiance. Yeah, it is exactly that slash because of the entire pandemic. Stopped that wedding from happening. So one day in the future, for sure. Momo, God bless. Soraya is beautiful. Thank you so much. Cute baby. I love it. God bless, brother. Happy holidays to you and the fam. That means a lot, guys. Thank you so much. And then we break it all up for all gas, no Gase. Mike White Pro Bowl snub. I can feel you, man. I can appreciate the good fight there. Yes, happy birthday, Gal. 100%. It's coming up here. First Christmas. That'll be beautiful. Boy Green rocking the Revis throwback. It feels great, man. This is a beautiful gosh darn jersey. It's my only Pro Bowl jersey I have. But yes, of course, representing the historic Pro Bowl for the Jets. If you've been coming in and out of the show, you can always watch it later. But 4 Pro Bowlers for the Jets, 3 alternates. First time they've had a Pro Bowler in 3 years. First time in 4 years they've sent multiple Pro Bowlers. First time they've had a rookie in the Pro Bowl since 1988. Again, that was, 34 years ago. So a lot of history in the Pro Bowl. And again, a new era of Jets football and a real reason to feel excited about the future. For sure. Again, we mentioned this earlier, but throw that up there. People that think we should lose that to get rid of Zach are not true Jet fans. We have a clear path to the playoffs, and you want to sacrifice that chance because you're blinded by hate. 100%. Again, I gave you the Josh Allen example. Again, if they would have drafted Josh Allen, as much as I had some level of, I don't know if he's going to work out, you just believe in whoever your team is. So I love that. Maria, yes. Louis Orr, who, of course, played for the Knicks. Money from the corner. Great guy, too. He was an assistant for a long time. He was, of course, at Syracuse, spent 4 or 5 years there on the Syracuse bench, then became a head coach at a few places like Siena. And then he came all the way back after a little mini hiatus with Georgetown, and that's where he was an assistant until, unfortunately, his passing. So 100%. All gas, no gas. Irvin Charles, potentially. He was a big thriller in training camp. I would not mind that. That was good. Will Irvin Charles get in the game? Maybe. Jeff Smith got hurt during the game. The game that he was looking wide receiver 1. He did not finish the game against the Lions. You may have missed that during the game because all of a sudden Garrett Wilson and other guys started heating up. But yeah, Jeff Smith got injured there, unfortunately. Chrono Kenny, they did play the Dallas defense, which is pretty damn good. 100%. Now, I'm not saying they've just played crap in terms of their defenses, but Dallas has a lot of star power, like Micah Parsons, who's a freak. But in terms of cornerback play, the Cowboys are not even in the same class as the Jets. It's just straight up. Again, Micah Parsons, Jets don't have anyone like that on their team. But corners, they don't know anything about that for sure. Let's see. Ray Ferraro. I think we're all there. I hope the Jets don't make me cry for Christmas. That'd be nice for once. That'd be nice. Let's see. Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown, what's he going to do with the scooter? Well, again, he got injured earlier in the year, so I know it was a shoulder. Maybe he could scoot around better. That would be nice. I don't know. Me personally, I wouldn't have been much of a scooter guy. I saw one person say, what is this, Italy or France? Like, who's riding a scooter around? I don't know. But, here we are. Rico the Pup, Garrett Wilson's going to eat those DBs alive. He's exactly the kind of receiver that gives them issues. CD had a good game against him, 100%. And CD actually was a comparison pro comp for Garrett Wilson, his ability to get off the line. So I would say that. Ace of Jet fan, can we throw a screenplay? Like, I haven't seen a lot of running back screens. I've seen some of our pop screens to wide receivers, but the running back screens where you kind of, especially when you have offensive line issues and they're leaking, and then you allow them to kind of do a kind of a chip block almost and then get out and then get them to roll. A few teams have done that against the Jets. Not as bad as in the past that opposing offenses used to kill the Jets with screens on this new defense with the aggressive pursuit from the front four. So that's been nice. Vern, hit the easy stuff, Zach. We got this. Again, the same thing in terms of my messaging for the Lions game. I wanted the Jets to not just hide Zach Wilson, just run, and hide him. Like, I wanted them to go balls out. I wanted them to be super aggressive, and they were. And but I think things that can help him in terms of getting the drive going. A couple of crossers, mesh concepts, just get open stuff, hike the ball, boom, throw, boom, throw. And all of a sudden, you saw when Zach Wilson had confidence in that first half, all of a sudden, then he started vibing. Then he started going. I think that's a key as well. So I would like that as well. Yeah, all just the name Josh Allen in general haunts Jet fans, so whether offense or defense, respectively. But good point there. Let's see. Barney Miller jumping in. I'm from the future. Ooh, the Jets did win out. Nice. I can't tell you more without destroying the time-space continuum. I understand. It's a powerful tool you have there, Barney. But as long as we, the Jet fans, keep the faith, we win out. Okay, Barney, as far as I'm concerned, that I am sold. And I do believe in that as well. So great stuff there, Barney. I love it. But thank you for not disrupting the time-space continuum, but to enough to tell us the good news that the Jets will win out. I'm looking forward to that. I don't think Brady has much left. I don't know if he could do it a year or two. I think really the offensive line has collapsed around him. And then you'd say, well, what about the Jets? But they're going to get Elijah Tucker back, and I think they're going to be better. But I don't understand if no one wants Tom Brady. Everyone hates his guts. Rico the Pup. Jordan Love is more likely to be traded than Aaron Rodgers. That dead cap hit for Rodgers is insane. Like a comically crazy dead cap hit of almost $100 million. This is true, Rico, but some capologist, and I don't claim to be one, I just pretend to be one on the show sometimes, they tell me there's a weird loophole where Rodgers' team and team could all kind of work around it so it's not that. I don't know that. I'm not smart enough to know that, but I've heard a few capologists tell me that. I guess we'll see this offseason if that comes to fruition, but I'm not sure. Let's see. If Tom becomes a Jet, that means the singularity is upon us and the end is near. Probably. That's true. And you would know with the time-space continuum, I suppose. Ace the Jet fan. Keep Mike, Zach, draft the mobile guy late round. I wouldn't be upset at that. You know, kind of a mid-round developmental guy. I'd be open for that. Let's go. Barney Miller, AFC East trivia. What player beat the Brady Pats on every East divisional team? Well, so we have to do during the run. So Ryan Fitzpatrick did for the Jets. He did for the Dolphins and did for the Bills. Oh, it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah, that's my guess. I believe. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Let me try to see if there's anyone else. Maybe this is a deep cut. Maybe I'm overthinking it or underthinking it. Nah, maybe it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. No, so he obviously did with the Jets. I was at the game. He did with the Dolphins. I remember that one because that was the Tom Brady MFer game that he talked about. And he definitely did it with the Bills. So I think it's Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think that's my guess. But maybe that's too recency bias, so I could be wrong there. I see Rico says Fitzpatrick as well. Barney. Oh, it was Fitzpatrick. Okay, cool. Nice. All right. Pat myself on the back for that one. Thank you. I think Rico, you might have gotten to that first. I think I'm a little behind on the comments. Let me try to catch up here. Sorry, guys. Ray Ferraro, a ode to Santa. If you're listening out there, old Santa Claus, old Saint Nick, I've got water out, not necessarily milk and cookies, but can you send us 3 wins in the playoffs? Well, I don't care. And I want to make that clear. All the people that say backup quarterbacks earlier in the season or this or this or that, I don't give a flying hoot, baby. Get us in the playoffs, end the playoff drought, and then we could just get that monkey off our back. And then next year we'll end the New England thing once and for all. But get us in the playoffs. I don't care how. 100% Ferraro. Let's do it. Benny, love Revis, but hard to forget he got a Super Bowl with the Patriots. Again, I've got a Darrelle Revis fat head in my man cave. It's over there. I will say it sucked how everything went. To be honest, though, if I remember the negotiating correctly, I was back in college when this was happening in my final semester. Well, it wasn't the final semester when this was happening. This was free agency. But John Idzik had the chance to look like the biggest genius of all time. He had the chance because he traded away Revis and he to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, got all that stuff back. And he had a chance to bring him back in 2014. and look like a genius. Again, get the first round pick, which is Sheldon Richardson, who was the defense rookie of the year. Get the third round pick, and then to get Revis back. And the only thing it would have cost you was money. And I remember, if I remember correctly, at that time, I wasn't covering the Jets to this level. I was covering the Jets, but not to this level. I remember it's going, nah, I'm good. And then he goes to New England and wins the Super Bowl. So, again, whether Revis, hey, this or this or this, he got a Super Bowl ring. So, again, good for him. Good he got the ring. He will always be remembered as a Jet. And I know some people that are still upset at him. But if I remember correctly, I think it's a little bit on the Jets here as well. Hawk, do I think Bam, or a different Hawk maybe, or a new profile pick Hawk? I'm not sure. I think Bam is going to start tomorrow. Looking more questionable than I thought. Yeah, he did not look good, but I think on the final injury report, he is still available as an opportunity. So I think there's a real good chance he starts, at least from everything I've been hearing. We will see. He did not look effective at all. Was that just in the Lions game? Was that just offensive line play? Was that Bam? I don't know. He had one big run and then got called back from holding. So, yeah, from everything I'm hearing, though, he is going to be in terms of starting. I would imagine he's going to get the rock. If not, James Robinson could be cryogenically unfrozen, perhaps. I don't know. Let me finish up here. I'll go through any final ones that you guys have. Highlander Prime, I found a home with your cast, Boy Green. I'm along the same philosophical line with regards to the Zach Wilson narrative. Patience and give him time, and more creative and aggressive play calling. I'd love to see it. Ray Ferrara, how about tight end screens underneath like Kelsey? Also, I'd like to see it, Ray, in that same sense. So this is probably what you're talking about. The quick chip and go. It's almost like a Y screen. Is that like they almost fake it and then they roll out? I mean, not quite the way the Lions got the Jets on the like fake block and come across the field, but almost just like, you come out of your 3-point stance, give them a chip, and then you like let up just enough where you could get him and get some offensive linemen moving. I would love that personally. And again, Tyler Conklin's supposed to have some of that juice. CJ Uzomah got not only 2 touchdowns on this past Sunday, but his first 2 touchdowns as a Jet. That'd be great as well. David Dayton here, Lions fan. Okay, popping up here late on a Wednesday. I really think your fan base needs to give Zach Wilson a chance. Dude needs to mature, but his upside is insane. Coaches need to get him out of the pocket and running back screens to assist your offensive line. We don't have enough time to get to it. It's too late, and I'm about to hit the sack for the radio station early tomorrow. But Saleh kind of spoke to this. He said his family members, which was a funny article. I wrote it for Heavy on Jets. If you guys want to dive into it in more detail, his family members this week were lighting him up about, hey, why aren't you getting Zach Wilson outside the pocket more? And it was kind of a funny exchange with the media. You can't have him outside the pocket on every play. Now, people will say, well, what about Justin Fields? Well, Justin Fields is a different athlete, and also he's running the ball like a running back. Zach Wilson doesn't have that body. So I think there is more they can do. But at a certain point, Robert Saleh is right that at the end of the day, to be what separates and makes someone a good or great quarterback is standing in the pocket, hiking the ball, and delivering it to where it needs to go. And if you can't do that, then there are some ways you can hide it by playing to strengths. But ultimately, you're going to have to do that if you want to get where you want to get. So I think that as well. Maria, is Calvin Jackson still on the practice squad? No, he's bounced around. Last time I checked, he was like on the Dolphins practice squad, but he may just be a free agent guy. So that may be something to watch as well. Same Hawk, new pick. You should get that on a shirt, Hawk, for sure. In the middle, you're switching your avatar in the middle of a show. Oh, you're crazy. Revis is our goat. Amen. Let's see. Sit Robinson, give up the 6th, not the 5th. What a busted move. I think even playing him, it's not like he's going to get 150 yards rushing or whatever he needs in this game. So I think the pick is just dead. But I do get what you're saying. Don't give up free picks for no reason. Let's see. Okay, here are the final comments, and then we'll get out of here. Zach must finish the season. Momo Adamo, I like that take. The Highlander Prime, if Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers were not winners, everyone would accuse them of having poor footwork and poor fundamentals. Every once in a while, quarterback services who's actually an artist. I kind of like that interpretation. And Rico the Pup, I mean, if you go back to Jake Plummer, Shanahan, Broncos days, that's pretty much all he did, and he had success. But the run game had to be great. Yeah, that Terrell Davis guy, TD, Pro Football Hall of Famer, was pretty good as well. But there is some truth to that. Guys, I want to thank you. You guys were crazy. All you guys available here late on a Wednesday. Impromptu coming off the Buffalo conversation. I was so jazzed up. We had to hop on live. We will be back tomorrow live 2 hours after the game to talk about the New York Jets continuing their playoff chase, of course. If you want a Jaguars preview again on my channel, check it out. It's under the live section. Was with John Shipley, a full Jaguars preview, and it's snack size. You guys can either enjoy it on the drive into work, you can enjoy it on your break, or in the build up to Thursday Night Football. John Shipley, a nice 20-minute snack size bite of both injury storylines, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, prediction, and a really cool Quincy Williams nugget, which I found fascinating. I'll also be tweeting out that specific clip tomorrow on my Twitter. You guys can follow me. Scrolling ticker, baby. Follow me on all social media at BoyGreen25. We will see you tomorrow night, 2 hours after the game. Again, like the video, hit subscribe down below, and hit that bell notification for tomorrow so you never miss a video. Looking forward to a great Jets-Jaguars game. Prime time. It's going to be juicy, and I can't wait. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow right here on the channel. Peace out, baby, and happy holidays to each and every one of you out there if we don't see you on the show tomorrow. Merry Christmas.